All right, all right. Before we start, I'd like to apologize the long break, the 2 week break, over 2 week break between this episode and the stuff. I was attempting to do 2 movies per episode with this box set, and that obviously didn't work. Disc Jockey was an hour long, so that was fine, but Lifeblood was 2 hours. And just after finishing recording Traveler, that was also 2 hours. So I decided to release these individually. I'm going to try to find a different release schedule for this because it's kind of weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release Disc Jockeys the way it is now alone. And then a couple days sometime within this week, I'm going to also release Lifeblood. And then next week, I'm going to do the same thing with the Traveler and at Terra Backstew, where I'm just going to release them separately within the same week. And then after that, we'll just go on to Blade Runner, and I'll try to find a new plan on how to do these Tomb of Terror episodes. Oh, and one more thing of note. This is going to be the last episode where the sound quality is a little bit wonky, hopefully. Sam and I found a new method on how to record this, so it's going to sound a lot better after this. I like to thank the one person who gave me constructive criticism on what to do with the sound. I will credit them in the next episode if they're fine with that. So yeah, here's Tomb of Terrors with Nate and Sam and I. So enjoy.
Down for dropping out. What do you want the award suspension? I don't know. Come on.
This is where we do this. Understand that? Alright. These fuckers wanna be Scarface and chop up a white line. Go ahead and make millions and get the shotgun to your spine. Cause what goes up must come down. Now keep it up on the real. They want $100 bills, but still can't chill unless they smoke a blunt. Fuck a businessman, I don't front. All your punks and chunks. Now make your business plans, man. In the year of the chameleon, I'm adapting to whatever happens. Change identity so the government can't track us. Welcome to the state full of cactus and slackers in a world full of computer hackers. And now these bastards is acting backwards. Better put your bottles down. All these girls I went to high school with, they look like models now when I'm lounging. There's a spark of Lucky Strike.
Okay, well, this is the first film off the first disc of Tomb of Terrors.
Woo! Yeah!
It sure is.
And we're joined by
what
Nate for this segment.
what a good treat.
Yeah, we're joined by Nate for this segment because it's he has great taste in films. So
Apparently so.
Because
I was there when they watched this one. That's why I'm here.
When we rewatched it, I think I've seen this film like 5 times. For like 3 of those times for note-taking reasons.
Uh-huh.
And I'm beginning to think I've seen this film more than films I actually like really enjoyed.
I'm sorry. That's not good.
Are you saying you don't enjoy this film, Zach?
I think it's fine. It's not like final, like, okay, for example, I probably see Good Will Hunting like 3 times.
Uh-huh.
I could have seen Good Will Hunting like another time. Instead watch Disc Jockeys.
It's true.
Another 2 times. That type of shit.
Uh-huh.
Well, anyways, let's get into the meat of the movie. All right, so Disc Jockey is a 2005 or 6 action film. The reason why I say or 6 is because the release date is pretty hazy on all mediums. So
is it?
Yeah, the Internet Movie Database page says it's 2006. The disc itself, like the thing that credits the movie on the box set, says 2005. And there's another thing that says 2006. So I'm just going to assume 2006, maybe.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple errors on this box set.
Uh-huh.
And it's an action film directed by Zachary Yoshioka. That is quite a movie. That's why I put it in here. That's quite a film. So
it is a movie.
Yeah, this is a horror film box set. So maybe you might be asking, like, well, what's horror about this? I'm going to lead you to figure that out as we go along.
That's right.
All right.
Let's roll the movie. All right, well, we rolled the movie. Okay, the film starts with a neatly animated Ballistic Entertainment logo, which I like the graphics on that logo. That's all I can say.
Probably the most competent part of this entire film is the logo.
I won't say that. It's a nice logo. That's all. Like,
it's well done.
Yeah, it's well done. That's a cool.
The logo.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the movie.
It's not the best part of the movie. Like, here's the thing about
the best part.
No.
I don't want to like. We're gonna
think
shit
that's
on
funny.
this, but I don't want to like go super ham shitty on it just because a lot of people seem to have fun with this film while making it. Type of thing.
No, it's no. Here's the thing. It's a magnificent film.
Yeah.
It is so good, but
it's
like if we were to look at it technically, like it's not great.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'll give you my rating later. Before we go further, I should state the fact this is a 2.2 on Internet Movie Database. That's its rating out of 10.
Ooh.
So, if that says anything, we'll.
That's a pretty zesty score.
Anyways, it opens with this like weird cheesy transition. You know, I'm talking about like the weird door opening. Not door opening where the screen like does this like little swipe.
Yeah, it rotates.
Not
kinda.
Rotates. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It happens quite a few times though.
It's like one of those PowerPoint transitions.
Yeah, we see a character named Frankie B breaking the fourth wall, which he does a lot throughout this movie.
Yep.
This is one of
And
these
it's never
moments,
good.
saying that he came from nothing and he's never going back there. Then he unbreaks the fourth wall. Then the film just continues like that never happened. And he and Dane walks in to interrogate a man.
I'm sorry, you said what? Ding?
Dane.
Denny. That's okay.
Dane.
I can't understand what the hell you're saying. It's Dane?
Yes,
Yeah.
Dane, like Danish, minus the ish.
Okay.
He and Dane walks in to interrogate a man named Dax, who is a doctor. Dane calls him a doctor using like a weird British accent, probably referencing Doctor Who in a weird way.
I don't know, man.
But he says, "You are the doctor." I'm like, I'm not trying to do that, but it was dumb. It was not good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also weird because he's a doctor, quote unquote, but his office seems to be in a garage.
Yeah, the two doctors in these movies, they don't look like doctors. I would say
don't.
Dr. Steve Brule looks more like a doctor than these two guys that they bring up.
It's true.
Now here's a little fun fact about Dax, the actor that plays him. The actor that plays Dax has been in a bunch of like major TV shows, like NCIS, ER, House, General Hospital, CSI New York. He's usually playing like cop-like characters, or like that's usually what he's good at, playing cops, which it shows. He does seem like the type of guy who will play cop characters in most films, or TV shows. He's also in Zachary's other film, Capture the Flag, which is on this box set.
Whoa.
So
I didn't realize he had another film.
So we'll watch that much further down the line. Frankie walks in and points a gun at him. Daxton pushes him onto the chair in a hyped up rage. There's a mirror in the shot that has a reflection, and I think you can see the lighting in it.
Yep.
You could see the spotlight. It's oof.
Yeah.
Frankie singles Dane to tell him to calm down. Frankie demands Dax to tell them what he knows about Jeremy Jackson, which Jeremy Jackson is a character that we'll know more about later in the movie.
Ooh.
Dax says he doesn't know. Frankie hits him with his pistol. Dane says Frankie needs to calm down. Like, he tells him to calm down, but Dax tells him to riot in hell, pricks, which Dane just lets Frankie pistol whip him again. Dax then finally says Jeremy's in Woodbury, and then Dane goes on this weird long-ass tangent, which is in the first clip, so just click on that.
Okay, hold on a sec. First of all, I'm a little upset that we have to go to Woodbury. See, ironically, there are no trees in Woodbury. Just dirt everywhere! And Barry, if I wanted fruit, would I go to Woodbury? No. I mean, I reckon I'd rather drive down some abandoned highway and stop at a cart and get some dirty oranges from some dude named Pablo. It has fruit spelled with 2 O's, but, whatever. Dirt, dust, dead skin cells everywhere! Hey, I have allergies.
God, I hate watching this clip again. Just brought back the whole movie to me. Like thinking about this whole movie again. Oof.
I do love his like thing about like fruit and shit.
Uh-huh.
And like saying there's like no trees and it's just dirt. And he does bring up how he hates dirt, like Anakin Skywalker hates dirt. But yeah, so yeah, Frankie just tells him to calm down, just because that's a weird thing to go on a tangent about.
I don't know. There's scenes like this where people just go off.
It's just specifically between these two characters. So there's a bunch of things where I did take a lot of notes on just their dialogue, and I might just dial it back a little bit since it's not that important half the time. It's just long rants in between each other.
Yeah, they do that so much.
Yeah.
And it gets obnoxious after like the second time.
I wouldn't say that it's obnoxious. It's good at points.
Is it? I just find it unbearable.
Well, that's just you, Sam. And all of these people rated a 2.2 out of 10 on average. Frankie tells Dan to relax by singing, which he does sing for some fucking reason, very briefly. And then he asks, then they ask where Jeremy hid the disc. Then they just fast forward through this part. We'll get back to that later. We'll see what they fast forwarded through. Mm-hmm. And then he tells them.
They literally fast forward.
Yeah,
that's the best part about it.
Yeah, it's fast forward through the entire scene.
Yeah, it's like they had like a VCR and they just fast forwarded on the VCR.
Oh, this was definitely a film cut on tape.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, but like, did they purposefully make it look like that, or was it just like
they probably did make that look like that on purpose? But like, I think they actually did it though. If that makes sense. I see. So they do that. Tells them they need a liability. So like, they need like that. Their plan was originally just like, he's like, okay, we're just gonna need to tie you here and type of shit, like that type of thing. Frankie, who has a gun pulled on him, demands to leave a message that he's going fishing. Dax refuses. Frankie comments that you have a gun in your face and you won't even leave a message that you're fishing on the phone. This causes Dane to also pull out his gun and makes a remark saying, now you have two guns in your faces. Ooh. Two guns in your faces. Well,
damn.
That's
that's worse than one gun in your face.
Yeah, that's worse, but it's gonna do the same amount of damage. So,
it's doubly as lethal.
Yeah, Dax says still refuses and says you guys don't know what you're getting yourselves into, and Frankie just angrily shoots him. There's no blood in this scene.
There's no blood. There's no effects at all.
Yeah, it's just a major flash, and then that's it. Dane leaves a message and does a semi-spot on impression of Dax saying he's going fishing. So yeah, and then they high five each other and they head out to Woodbury.
That's right.
And then we get some
weird that you noted that they high fived each other.
I just thought it was weird that they high fived each other. That's why I noted
right after killing him.
Yeah. And then
manslaughter. Not even manslaughter, just murder.
Yeah.
First degree murder.
High five.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we get a cool opening credits. I put cool for some reason. It just has awesome techno music in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have another shit transition that I talked about earlier, where we go to the high school and they're teaching English. Class full of students. A lot of the girls in the scene has 2005 hair, including our main character named Ashley.
Is she the main character? I don't even think she's a main character. She's important and she's an important character.
She's she's
character.
Pretty much, for the lack of a better words, she's pretty much a prop in this movie.
Yeah, she kind of is. They just kind of lean
why.
up.
We explain why later, but it's very weird.
She's pretty much just a. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, she has to go to the bathroom and she leaves the class. As she leaves, we have the beginning of some epic hip-hop music coming in.
Oh, God.
As the song's titled These Fuckers by Adam Wilkie. I can't find it anywhere besides this film, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
So, I'm down for dropping out. What do you want for suspension? I don't know.
That's what we do this. Understand that? Alright. These fuckers wanna be Scarface and chop up a white line. Go ahead and make millions and get a shotgun through the spine. Cause what goes up must come down. Now keep it up on the real. They want $100 bills, but still can't chill unless they smoke a blunt. Fuck a businessman. I don't fuck all your
After seeing students before like we get kicked in the cool moment of the song, like this is just the intro of the song. We see some students leave a class, one of them commenting how they will drop out, one wearing a Bush as a trader shirt, and the other one eating Frosted Flakes.
Yep.
Which is pretty much like, I feel like that's a high school in 2005 right there. I think they got that spot on, I'm not gonna lie.
Eating Frosted Flakes in the hallway?
That's universal. It's right there, but...
Did you eat Frosted Flakes in the hallway?
I didn't, but I've seen people who have eaten cereal in the hallway.
So have I.
So,
I've seen that before, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I do that in college all the time, but like, I don't... In high school?
I would see that all the
yeah,
time.
one thing I like to state, this is like an actual high school. Like, I think these are actual students, which is weird, because there's some scenes in this film like, a school is fine with that? Alright.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like these the people who I feel like this was a student project of some sort.
It's not. I checked. It's not.
It's not?
No.
What the hell?
One thing I like to bring up the music is that I think I had it in the intro of the show, and it's also probably in the background as we're talking. I kind of not dig it because of the music, but what happens later in this. Which... Then once the music kicks in, we see Dang and Frankie in disguise walking down the stairs in slow motion.
Disguise, by the way, is not in disguise at all. Well, I mean, it is
Sam,
disguise, quote unquote, but it's terrible.
I fucking love this scene. I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty good scene.
Well, yeah.
They're walking down the stairs in slow motion. They go into the hallway where a bunch of students are giving them like what the fuck looks the whole time while you're looking all trying to look cool and shit. Frankie knocks papers out of one of the students during the scene, which for no reason. Like he's not.
Yeah,
really
it is for no reason.
he just decides to be a real penis.
Yeah, they decide to stop next to some stairs. Dane mentions that this small town should be easy to find her. And Frankie states the obvious that, like, nobody knows us. And we do definitely stick out here, even in these disguises.
Which is like, yeah, keep going. Never mind.
Dane compliments Frankie's disguise, saying he looks thug. And then Frankie replies, like, that disguise and a bow tie and sweater vest makes Dane look gay. There's a lot of jokes about Dane being gay in this film.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. We're even to the point where even if this was made in like 2006, it's a bit excessive.
Well, there's a twist. It's a weird twist, but there's a twist.
Yeah. Anyway,
Dane then replies with a "fuck you, Eminem" to Frankie.
Yep.
Frankie looks more like Billy Joe Armstrong, in my opinion, than Eminem.
Yeah. But... I call this film The Adventures of Billy Joel Armstrong and Ben Carson, because and I make that joke every single time this movie is mentioned, as if it was even funny the first time.
Frankie then pulls out some beer in a bag because anyone drinking something from a bag doesn't look suspicious at all. Dane says you can't drink. Frankie replies, "There's no hall monitor in here, and doesn't matter because they're not gonna be here for long anyways." And during the scene, we learn that Frankie likes to use his hands a lot to make motions. It's pretty excessive.
Yeah, it's
like
to the point where
it's like the director ordered him, like, okay, you look like a gangster here, and like, okay, I just move hands.
Yep.
It's to the point where even I think it's what do you call it? Excessive, and like I do a lot of hand motions, so
He says and he's also 100% sure he can find her with his eagle eye, but Dane replies like, she might have changed since 6 years ago because of puberty, and the reason why I bring up the puberty part, he says, because Frankie then checks out someone that looks like they're in their 20s, but it's posing as a high schooler. Their ass, And he says puberty is right, and he's right, and he smacks Dane's ass out of nowhere, and then he says, "Wow, you guys are contagious. Keep it away from me."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So this is the comedy we have in this movie.
That's right.
And I'd like to remind you, we're like 6 minutes in, and this is part of a horror movie box set. I'm gonna bring this up a lot.
Not scary.
Yeah, nothing even spooky happens yet.
Nah.
Or ever.
Frankie suggests maybe they should go to the checkout library to see what she looks like in the class roster, but these two kids come in, ask him to sign a yearbook. Frankie says sure, takes the yearbook, then punches one kid down a flight of stairs, and then throws another one down the stairs.
Aren't there 3 that fall down the stairs?
Well, there's one that's walking up that falls behind them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a great scene.
It is a good.
It's
I
like
love
one of those
that.
things that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, it was so random.
You could also see the boom in the stairwell at the top.
Can
of it.
you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One of the kids that fell down says, "Man, if I wasn't fucking Blaze, this would hurt." Because that's, I don't know. I think that'll still hurt if you're blazed.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like he's pushed down the stairs, dude. That's gonna hurt no matter what, unless you feel nothing. They find her in the yearbook and they throw it on the ground cinematically, like in slow motion, and it just lands opened, right? And the girl they show in the yearbook picture doesn't look a thing like Ashley.
That's right.
Yeah.
At all.
It's
like not even like similar. So we cut to Ashley in the bathroom taking pills to stop her stomach pain. Around this time, I've been thinking like, well, is Ashley a vampire or some shit like this? The first time I watched this, I thought like, okay, something spooky's in this. Ashley must be a vampire or some shit, right? Two bullies take her pills and call her a slut and spill them on the ground. Ashley pushes one of them, and the bullies respond by shoving her head in the sink and about to cut her 2005 girl hair off. All of them have 2005 girl hair, by the way.
Yep.
A girl named Beth, who's the 20-year-old looking chick that Frankie looked at earlier, comes into the bathroom and fucks up one of them in the stall. One of the bullies calls them a skank. Beth and Ashley are about to leave, and the purple hair one, that's what I titled her as, calls Beth a bitch. Then she responds with ripping her earring off and leaving.
That's right.
The music is mixed loudly in the scene, by the way. The music is not mixed well at all in this movie.
No.
To the point where there's like one scene where I couldn't hear a single thing from one of the characters.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And by pretty bad, I mean incredibly bad.
Yeah. We see kids limping down the hallway. The kids that Frankie threw off the stairs. And then we see Frankie and Dane walk down that hallway, not even acknowledging each other. Frankie is upset that he can't find Ashley, and Dane's like eating a donut, which Frankie is not chill about. Dane says, chill, Franklin, relax, and Frankie doesn't like being called Franklin at all. That's what we learned.
That's right.
And that's going to be an important part in this movie.
Somehow.
Oh yeah, it does become an important part in this movie.
Well, I mean, it does, but it's just weird that it's important.
Then he sees Ashley and Beth walking down the hallway. Frankie recognizes Ashley. They both chase after them, and Dane tries to finish his donut very quickly, and he does a funny run. Like a weird, like...
Yeah, it was... I'm not even too sure if that was, like, intentional.
It probably was, because this film is part comedy, so...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, but it was just like, what the hell?
So we cut to Ashley and Beth talking next to the stairs. All the students leave once they see Ashley. Not Ashley, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Which means she's probably, like, mean.
Got a reputation.
Yeah, she has a, like, oh, shit, this person will fuck me up type of reputation. Ashley thanks her for saving her, and with Beth replying, it's not about me, it's about you helping yourself. Or otherwise, says, I'm just quoting word for word here. Or otherwise, bitches like that will take advantage. She's also has a very thick New Jersey accent. Or Boston accent. One of the two.
Was that what that was? Oh.
It was...
Some sort of accent.
Yeah, it was very... Yeah.
It was an East Coast accent.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
If we're going to leave it at East Coast accent. Let's take a listen to that.
It's not about me helping you. It's about you helping yourself. Otherwise, bitches like that will take advantage.
They both introduce each other. Beth mentions that she already knows of Ashley. When Ashley asks why, she just says, "Oh, I've just seen you around."
Which is suspicious.
So weird.
Yeah. If someone says like, "Oh, hey, my name is," okay, Nate, let's role play the scene. Hey, my name is Zach.
Okay. Oh, what's up, Zach? I'm Nathan.
Oh, I know you, Nate. I've seen you around.
What? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Oh, like down the hallways, I look at you and shit.
Who sent you?
That would make me so uncomfortable if someone said that.
Yeah, which is weird because the first time I met you, I just randomly said, "Hey, I'm gonna make a book about you," which I think is weirder.
Oh, that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's weirder, but like it's definitely.
I just randomly talked to you like at gym class. Like, I'm gonna make a book
That's
about
right.
you.
That was our ongoing bit for that whole trimester.
Yeah. Ashley brings up she moved to Woodbury a month ago, and they ditched school early, like bad students.
Couple of cool kids.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fucking rebels. They ditched school like a couple minutes early. So cool. They argue about who gets. Frankie and Dang catches them leaving like right after they go down the stairs. They argue about who gets to drive and quickly settle it with 2 out of 3 rock paper scissors round. Game of rock paper scissors. That was cool. Dang wins. And then they leave. We have another shitty transition to Beth driving Ashley home. Beth says they should hang out sometime with Sketch, which is one character we'll meet later in this movie.
Yep.
Ashley leaves, and Beth says she'll see her soon. Ooh. Frankie and Dane followed them. Frankie says he wants to get it done tonight. Dane agrees, but he also says they should get the money first. Frankie and Dane argue about this because Frankie believes the money is not important at the moment. And this causes Frankie to do a timeout. That's clip 2.
The first one.
Oh my god.
The first 2. Okay, so it's just...
Okay,
so
hold
in
on.
this scene, he actually thoroughly explains the origins of Jeremy Jackson and their feud of each other. So let's watch that. So everything freezes and gives a monologue.
Time out. Listen to this motherfucker right here. I don't even know what's going on in his head, nor do I even care what's going on in his head right now. Anyways, here's the story with the house right here. Inside, there's a cock-ass sucking little bitch, kind of like Dane, whose name is Jeremy Jackson. And we used to run with that fool about 6 years ago. We were doing hits, we were making cash, we had clients off the hook. Now, Jeremy, he was the one who kept the books, setting up hits, making maps of locations, keeping files. I mean, the dude would even go crazy enough to get the blueprints of the freaking buildings. Now, this is where the mini disc comes into play, right? See, one day we get a job and we're like, let's get this done. Nah, I want nothing to do with this, man. I know the mark. I want out. So I say, what? You want out? Man, this motherfucker right here ain't even out of the closet yet, dude. And you want out, man, mother? This is the way we do things around here, bitch. This is what we do for a living. You want out? Fuck that, man. We got clients to make satisfied. Fuck that. We thought it was handled, right? 2 days later, my phone rings. Who do you think it is? Jeremy effing Jackson. What's up, dog? B, what's up? It's Jeremy. Check it. I got one thing to say to you. I'm out. What? Yeah, I said I'm out, motherfucker. I got this disc with everything we've ever done on. So you wanna come strong with me? Say what?
Say what?
You ain't gonna find me. Don't even come looking. But if you do, I'm gonna bring us all down Titanic style. You understand? Oh, you motherfucker. I said I'll bring us all down Titanic style, bitch. Fuck
He
you,
is
I'm
really
out.
proud of that. He has said it twice.
I do
So
love
Jeremy
all
skipped town.
down
We don't know
Titanic
where he's
style,
been.
I'm not
6
gonna
years
lie.
later, though, things around here are getting hot. Really hot. The only thing that's keeping us untraceable is the mini disc that he has. I mean, this is amateur shit, man. I'm ready to get that motherfucking disc and get the fuck out of here. Time in.
So yeah,
God.
so he freezes the whole neighborhood around him during this scene.
That's right.
And he just gives this whole monologue about the origins of why they need to get that disc from Frankie B, who who was
You mean from Jeremy?
Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy. So
Yeah.
all the characters' name kind of mesh.
Oh.
So they time in and they just start driving, and then they run over this one kid who was playing with basketball pretty
That's
shittily.
right.
Like, let me run over, like the kid just crawls over a moving car pretty much.
Yeah, it was.
And then
it
falls
was
onto the ground.
Hilarious.
I
think this was like the same kid that they knocked over like down the stairs.
He pops up 3 times in this movie, or 3.5, I should say. This is like his second time, I think.
All right.
A bunch of kids go to help him, and he says he can see the light. And one of his friends who helps him up says like, "Oh God, you're black," and then it just randomly cuts to. Yeah, that was a weird one right there.
That was a weird. That was a very strange.
We see Jerry jam into some rock music at his computer. Ashley comes in, who is later revealed Jeremy's sister. Ashley brings up she was bullied at school again. Jeremy replies, Jeremy says she should hang out with people who look out for her like he did back in high school. Ashley brings up she made a friend named Beth at school. Jerry replies that they should invite Beth over for a pizza and a movie. Yeah, so, yeah. Maybe that's probably not going to happen.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Jerry goes on his monologue about how their mother died and father split, and he's taking good care of her. Jerry also brings up that he was there for her when her appendix was removed. Jerry also says if she doesn't take her pills, he will be cutting her off from that grape soda and sugar.
That's right.
I just love that line. And then he goes to her sweatshirt and goes, "Where'd you get that? I always give you money for the latest trends in fashion."
That's right.
That's so
weird.
I don't think
he says he says it so. That line is delivered so. Yeah, I don't know. Not only it's just weird in general.
Like
it doesn't sound like something a human would say. Yeah.
Jeremy says, we bought this great house for each other, and Ashley replies, "That's great, but wish she was with her parents." I think she kind of slurs it. It's either with their parents or in Vermont. I'm just going to go with parents, because that seems more accurate.
Likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry says they have to stay low.
It's either parents or Vermont.
Yeah.
Slurs that badly. Good lord.
Jerry, yeah, she's not a great actor, and they kind of fix that later by doing something kind of dumb. Jerry says that they have to lay low for a while. Ashley says she can't and wait to get out of here. Jerry replies with, and this is a clip we have to watch, the third clip.
Get out of here. Where do you want to go? I'll take you anywhere. You want to go skiing, snowboarding? I'm a damn good snowboarder.
I like the ocean.
It's liquid snow. We'll hit the beach up. That's great. Just give me a few more months, okay?
I fucking love liquid snow, so I just love calling the ocean.
Is that why you put that clip in there? Yeah. It's just because he goes, "That's liquid snow."
Yeah, we could go to the beach. It's liquid snow.
It's such a stupid line. Like, yeah, I guess. I suppose you're right. But...
Yeah. So Jerry says we'll get there later, and they hug. After she mopes about mushroom pizza randomly. We cut to their house at night, and we see 3 women in black. One of them is Beth, and doing stunts and shit. One of them is climbing the monkey bars at some point, because that's how cool they are.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
This is while techno's playing. They get into the house through the window, Ashley's bedroom window, I believe. Jeremy's doing some work on the computer. He puts his gun on the ottoman for
some reason.
Yeah, that's gonna be a mistake. Dane and Frankie comes behind him. Dane has a gun at his head. Frankie dances, finding Jeremy, but Dane is not in a dancing mood, which he says. So he doesn't dance, because it took 6 years to find him. Dane takes his gun that was on the ottoman and gives it to Frankie. Jeremy says he won't be able to find the disc. Dane replies they know where it is, because Dax told them. Jeremy punches Frankie and Dane in the face, which causes Dane to do a timeout.
Timeout! And this motherfucker has lost some IQ points over the last 6 years. He knows about Dax, we know about the disc, and this is his escape plans to piss us off even more? He's wasting bullets. I'm wasting time fucking talking. Fuck this. Time in.
Frankie unfreezes time, and then they shoot Jeremy with his own gun. So that's the end of Jeremy.
6 years with your own gun.
Yep. Yeah, 6 years with your own gun. Get shot. No blood effects there either.
Yep.
It's the weird part's inconsistent because it pops up sometimes, but it doesn't pop up at the time.
Yeah.
Like this. They then go upstairs to get Ashley, and this is where the three girls wearing black are hiding, and they ambush Frankie and Dane. Beth rescues Ashley from the room. And then during this random fight action scene, we get to like Frankie down in the hallway doing this weird charge up during a fight.
Oh god, this.
Yeah, where he just like does this thing where he crouches down, like charges up like some character, like, and I don't know what to like think of, like maybe Dragon Ball, maybe. And he just does like an epic. I don't want to say I put epic here, but it's not epic. He just does like a weird air kick and punch to these two women. Like you could definitely tell the gap in the kick and punch, and they go flying across. And this is like when the techno music like charges up as well. And then one of them gets up and he does another charge, punching her into the ceiling unconscious. And then Beth gets up and is about to punch Frankie, but then he goes on another timeout, mentioning that he'll get knocked the fuck out, but he will have to take this punch since Dane got his back. And he unfreezes time with his time-in powers. So Beth punches Frankie out. And before getting knocked out, he does two things.
This is the best scene in the entire movie.
He first shoots an 8-ball at the pool table, impressing a crowd of people on the other end who puts money down on the table. This is where we also see that kid who that pops up every once in a while. And he knocks his head, but before actually getting knocked out, he takes a sip out of his soda and a bite out of his burger, and he just falls down.
That's right.
It was so weird.
I forgot about that.
It was so random. And now here I am thinking, like, okay, where's the spooky shit? Are these girls in black also vampires?
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out later if they are.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll give you the satisfying conclusion that you've been waiting for. The three girls leave with Ashley while Dane and Frankie chase them after them. So like Frankie wasn't really knocked out, I'm guessing, but
yeah,
well, the movie. But they escape. We cut to Frankie and Dane in the car discussing a new plan. They are wondering who hired those three girls because Jeremy definitely didn't hire them, according to Frankie. So they come to the conclusion that Dax hired them. We flash back to Dax, that scene they fast forward from earlier, to reveal that Dax has put a disc into Ashley's body. So they then agree to go back to Dax's office to find out what those girls' next move is. And Dane also mentions to get the money. This pisses Frankie off again. And points a gun at Dane's head. Dane also pulls a gun on him after arguing for a long time and says he's top bitch. And then they go to Dane's office. Not Dane's. Dax's office.
So, is he... now here's my question. Is he top or is he more of a power bottom?
Shut up, Sam.
Here's the thing about this. Here's the thing about this. So, like, that argument scene, there's a lot more I could have said about it, and I definitely just cut out the majority of it, minus that part. So, the three girls walk into Dax's office, or garage, or whatever the fuck you call it, finds him dead with a shitty wound on his head. So, this is the point where I wish Laurel could explain how bad that wound is, but it's not a good wound. That's all we know.
No. There's no exit wound. There's no exit wound.
The bullet is sticking out like it just stuck onto his head. So we could like probably come to like, if we're gonna be very generous, maybe he shot him with a flintlock.
But it was right next to his head.
Yeah. So we
like there has to be an exit wound.
So
like when it's that close.
So like if they're like usually people would like they would say it was a it was a hollow point, which means that there wouldn't be an exit wound.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that the bullet was sticking out of his skull.
Yeah, here's the thing: it's not the exit wound we have a problem with; it's that we see the bullet sticking out. Because you couldn't probably even see the exit wound since his head was on a chair, you know?
Yeah.
But like, you could see the bullet sticking out.
Yeah, that's much more bothersome.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not a good scene.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah, it's.
Not a good scene.
I mean, whoa, this is a great movie.
Yeah. We find out all the girls are named. Besides Beth and Ashley are named Julie and Sketch. Julie is the I would say the most normal of this bunch. And Sketch, we'll learn who Sketch is later. They are now arguing about how to get the money since Dax promised the other half, which we see in another flashback scene with Dax. Dax hired Sketch to get the girl back alive in a good condition, like she can't even be like sad or scarred up a little bit, that type of thing. He gives her the first half of the money and the last half when the job is done. Dax also warns Sketch to be careful around Frankie B. And that's where the flashback ends. After Sketch tells the story that's within the flashback, Frankie B and Dane walk back into Frank's office. They argue for a long while, and it's not fun, the argument. During this argument, Frankie mentions that he doesn't want to get ass raped in prison, but Dane might like it out of nowhere. And then Dane says he's been saving money up to leave, unlike Frankie, who just been spending it on shit that's not, like, he's not investing. Frankie's not investing his criminal dollars into anything.
That's right.
He's not laundering his money. What are you doing?
Yeah, like what a dumb fuck. And they argue more. Dane calls him Franklin again. Frankie gets upset and points a gun at him, saying, "Fucking say my name," in an angry tone. "Just call me Frankie B," or something like that. Dane waves the gun down at him.
There was some weird, like, sexual tension in that scene. It was
What?
No.
I was smelling some sexual tension.
Yeah, because the whole argument is that Dane wants to get the money, Frankie wants to get the disc that has all the incriminating evidence on them. And then Dane, like, in a very calm tone, waves the gun down at him, saying, "Fuck the disc," because he doesn't want to invest any more time on finding this disc, because they already spent 6 years. And he says he doesn't want to spend another 6 years finding it. He just suggests that they should take the money and leave town. Frankie finally agrees, but he wants to go to Mexico, which Dane doesn't want to go to Mexico because that has sand and dirt, which Woodbury has.
Yep.
So he reluctantly books a flight to Mexico via phone, and they leave the building.
He kind of just opens up his phone and then just says into the microphone, into the receiver, just Mexico.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. That's not how you book a plane.
Well, now it is. It's the future, Sam.
No, it's not. It was made in 2006.
Anyways, Beth and the crew go out of their hiding spots. Now, keep in mind they've been covering Ashley's mouth this whole time, which that's pretty much what they do the whole entire film.
Yeah.
2 more lines. She has 2 more lines in this movie.
She does?
Yeah. And
I thought she stopped. I thought she stopped having lines pretty much after once it becomes after that scene.
Well, she has 2 more lines, and then she just pretty much becomes a human prop for the last 20 minutes of the film. So
essentially,
yeah. And Beth and crew go out hiding. They're surprised about the info of the disc, the fact the disc is inside Ashley, because Frankie B mentions this in front of them while they're hiding. Beth and Julie ask Ashley if she knows Dax, and she says she's the one that removed her appendix. They find the scar on the back of her stomach, and Sketch points out that the appendix is in the front, which suggests that she probably she didn't. Pretty much what probably happened was that her brother just randomly shoved a disc in her for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't find a good excuse, so maybe he got her sick and then put a disc in her. Ashley says her final line in this scene. Her final line. That she can't believe this was her brother's idea. Then froze up. Sketch pulls a knife to cut it out. Beth and Julie say no. Julie says she's done and she's out. And Sketch just shoots Julie. So this so we find out Sketch is a little unhinged.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little unhinged.
Just a little.
She breaks down. So here's the thing. We're 40 minutes into the movie already.
Yep.
There are no horror elements.
There's no horror elements. And the reason why this is in this box set, we find out, is because it has an insane person in it. That's pretty much it. Which is a pretty low bar to consider something even close to horror.
Wasn't she part of like a different box set that was called like?
Yes. So, let me pull it up quickly. Sorry. So apparently she was in another horror film collection. This film was in another horror film collection called Savage Sickos, which it was pretty much the theme of that was just insane people, I guess. And the only reason why this film is in a horror movie box set just because that's an unhinged person, it seems like. That's it, which is extremely, like I said again, it's an extremely low bar to consider something horror. So, yeah, so no horror elements. No one turns into a vampire. No torture or anything. It's just that. So anyway, she breaks down. Beth takes her gun. Beth suggests that they can go to a doctor that will pull the disc out and blackmail Frankie B with it to get the rest of the money they were intending to get. They then leave Dax's office. We cut to Frankie dropping some hot bars in the car. That's clip 5.
That's clip 5?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Look at me, Frankie being really mean. I'm obscene. Making hits, getting paid. Mean hoes getting laid. So when I come up hot, let me see that cash, and my boy will run a train right up in your ass.
Yeah, so, Frankie B dropping some fire in the car.
That's right. That was pretty fire, I gotta say.
I fucking... I don't know, I just randomly pops up for no... It doesn't need to be in this movie. That's the best part.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't need to be in this movie.
Frankie asks what Dane thinks of the song. Dane says, like, that's alright, but not every song has to be about killing people. Then, Dane brings up, like, hey, we're bakers. No, we're butchers. And Frankie B is a candlestick maker. And this causes
I don't know.
And then then Dane just randomly yells West Side. So that's cool. They argue more.
That is cool.
And this causes Frankie to say some very fourth wall breaking line right here. Frankie says, this is only an hour-long movie, and we have a couple scenes left and it's over, so they must speed this shit up, which I agree.
Yeah, please. Please speed it up.
Frankie then walks into a strip club, which is why I'm questioning why school is fine with this film being filmed there. He goes to the bathroom, takes some money from the ceiling tile, and so the audio is very loud in this scene. Like, very loud.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this was happening on my first watch, and I kind of got in my other watches. So when I decide to watch it with headphone, I can kind of hear what he's saying. This is where he gets to call that one of the girls are blackmailing him, apparently, about the money.
Oh.
And in exchange for it, they get have to give them the disc to get the money. You can't really hear what's going on, but it just I can hear words like, okay, this is a call. All right, cool. So Frankie gets back in the car with Dane on the phone, and you could obviously hear him change the topic quickly, which implies or foreshadows that something is happening.
Yeah.
Frankie does a final timeout complaining about the importance of this, we're getting blackmailed, right, dude? That's pretty much the timeout. And he does time in, and that's the final time. We see a timeout and time in.
Which really is a shame.
Yeah. It's really this movie's bread and butter, They have to go back to Woodbury to get the disc, and they kind of argue about this. And then Dane's like, okay, fuck it, sure, why not? Sketch and Beth walks into the doctor's office. The doctor is named Chaz. Chaz's office doesn't look like an office.
looks like a tattoo place, and like one of those tattoo places you don't want to go into.
Yeah, seems like a tattoo place.
Exactly what it is.
It looks like one of those tattoo places where you get like a bloodborne disease somehow.
It seems like where either a guy takes himself way too damn seriously, or doesn't care when in the bad way, in the way where like what you said, you get a bloodborne disease.
Like you don't even get a tattoo and you get a bloodborne disease somehow.
Yeah, so Beth, Ashley, and Sketch walks in there. Chaz asks, so they ask like, hey, can you take the disc out of this girl? And then Chaz asks for a favor, implying said favor is sucking Chaz's dick. Sketch really doesn't want to do this, and Beth gives her cut from the first half of money to Chaz just to prevent this from happening. And Sketch gets pissed off about this even more, and saying like she won't make it in this business if she's doing shit like that. Which Beth says like, you've just killed Julie randomly earlier, so, and you're telling me that I'm not gonna make it in this business? Beth has some good points.
True.
And this money that they give Chaz is obviously fake. Like, not even like, it's paper. It's just green paper.
Yeah.
It's green paper. It's like the kind of money that, like, when you learn about, like, how supply and demand works in, like, elementary school, you get, like one of those, like, these green pieces of paper, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That.
Yeah, so, it's that. So, Chaz just starts doing the surgery on Ashley. The surgery scene is not awful. It's pretty okay, if you ask me.
For what it is, it's pretty okay.
Also, I read it in the credits, which I wish I took notes about the credits, because there's some good things in there. They did actually went to, like, talk to some surgeons for research. So they did actually research how surgeries work, kind of.
Really?
I guess how they look like. I guess, like, what the organs and shit look like, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
So they remove the disc, and the Chaz is like, all this for a fucking disc, right? Sketch takes it. She kills Chaz and all the surgeons with Chaz. Beth is upset that Sketch killed Chaz, because Chaz was a good friend, apparently. Right before Sketch is about to kill Beth, Frankie and Dane come in.
That's right.
They point guns at each other. All of them do that type of thing that Tarantino does in a lot of his film, where everyone's pointing a gun at each other.
Yeah.
Except not as good.
Well, this part is this is when the movie ramps up, in my opinion, in quality. Like, there's a major quality increase right here, in my opinion, at least.
That's your opinion, I guess.
Sketch gives Dane the disc, and in exchange, Frankie gives Beth the bag of money. Well, we'll find out. Sketch then kills Beth, and this is actually, like, probably the best looking gore in here.
Yeah.
Like, she actually, like, coughs up blood and shit. Like, they pretty much put all their money into violence in this part, I'm assuming. And then the twist is revealed that Sketch and Dane have been working together, and they're dating.
That's right.
And then,
in, like, the creepiest way possible.
So there's this techno music playing in the background when this is happening, and then the synth does a weird like vroom when Dane licks Sketch.
Yep.
Like, licks her. Just wide tongue, just like full on, just up the cheek. It was just terrible.
Frankie gets Ashley from the bed, and she's awake. I guess they sewed her up and we didn't see it. That's what I'm gonna assume. And then Frankie is surprised that Dane isn't gay. That's the big twist. Dane isn't gay. He sucked dick once in college, but that was just him being drunk.
Prison. Was it in a prison?
No, like, it was in college. It was at a college part, Jaeger.
Oh, okay. Well. All right. Well, anyway.
All right. So Dane's about to shoot Frankie, but Sketch walks up in the middle of his shot and shoots Sketch instead. Dane doesn't feel like too unhappy about this, because I guess Sketch smelled bad. Like, he literally said her ass smelled bad, so it doesn't matter. I'm like, so that's mean.
Okay.
That's mean, Dane.
Dane, that's not very nice.
Yeah. Then Dane goes on a monologue about how he hates Frankie's guts. Dane takes the bag of money, and when he's about to shoot Frankie, he calls him Franklin, which pisses off Frankie. And Frankie shoots and kills Ashley. So, Ashley's
that's right.
Dead. And Dane doesn't look too happy about this. I think solely because killing kids isn't cool. So after killing Ashley, Dane and Frankie shoot each other, like loading a bunch of bullets in each other. Neither of them actually die. Dane manages to get away limping to the car. We got a couple nice shots of everyone who's dead in the room. It's revealed Frankie isn't dead, and he crawls to the balcony where he sees Dane, And Dane talks about how you can be in this business for years as he's going to the car and still be a rookie. And as he says that, he finds out the bag is full of shredded papers because it was a dupe bag. He coughs up, and we get a cinematic scene of him looking at the mini disc before getting killed by Frankie from the balcony. The film closes with Frankie looking at the cameraman, looking at the camera and saying, "Like I said, I had enough, and it's a shitty place to be. Ain't nothing getting between me and my dollars." The film ends.
Is that clip 6?
No. I skipped clip 6 because it wasn't that important.
Oh.
So yeah, that's
Disc Jockeys.
Yep. What would you rate this film, Nate?
This movie, overall, is a solid 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10?
Phenomenal.
How about you?
Only time I'm that those are gonna work together, but still phenomenal.
I'd give it a 3 out of 10.
A 3 out of 10?
I'd give it a 3 out of 10 because while it is technically terrible in every sense of the word, it's not like... It's very entertaining. However, it does get boring. It gets very boring around the time that Billy Joel Armstrong is like rapping in the parking lot.
After he raps or when he raps?
I was gonna say
that scene is marks the point where I'm just like, oh god, can this be over already? It's giving me
it's true though, because I was gonna say earlier that is like, I feel like that is like that scene is when people are gonna look at their watch and shit. That's one of those scenes that you're gonna check, like, you're just gonna want to look at you're just gonna want to look at what time it is and be like, is this almost fucking done?
Yeah. I think definitely the scene where this is a 60-minute film. That's definitely, if they haven't done it yet, they probably are checking their watches.
It was 60 minutes. It felt like 4 hours.
Okay. Here's my rating of it. I'm doing it on a 5 scale since Letterboxd only does it via 5 scale.
Ooh.
Okay.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5? Really?
Here's the thing about Disc Jockeys, and I don't know if I'm rating this based off the other films we're gonna be seeing later in this. I think the only films I vaguely enjoyed on this box set, like vague so far as of watching, is Disc Jockey and maybe moments of The Traveler. And I don't know, like this film, like, I don't know how to explain. It's just like a weird. I had fun watching it, and even though I watched it 5 times, I'm not happy I watched it 5 times. I know there's some films I'm also gonna watch multiple times, and I'm gonna have even less fun watching those. So, yeah, and I also could, and also Disc Jockey was a thing that like I could bring up. Like it's a film to watch with friends as well.
That's true.
Like these other films, I probably wouldn't, minus maybe something that I kind of caught a glimpse of. Yeah, that's my review of it. But let's see what Movie Man Kev's review of it. So every time we review one of these films, I'm gonna like take a review or two from the Internet Movie Database page or the Letterboxd page, because they usually have something good to say half the time. Movie Man Kev is gonna be a person that we come back to every once in a while because he has watched all the films on this box set, I think. So here it is. 2 hitmen go to Woodbury, a small suburban town, in order to infiltrate a high school and retrieve a disc containing information on their illicit activities from Ashley, a local teenage girl who has it in her possession. As if the bumbling hitmen weren't, we are treated to fourth wall breaking moments that are incredibly lazy for sheer storytelling perspective, as well as fight scenes that are among the worst I've ever seen. If the other 49 movies in this Tomb of Terrors box set are mind-numbingly atrocious as this one, I have no clue if I'll survive enduring them, as I barely made it through this travesty. So that's Movie Man Kev, the recurring character in this podcast universe that we'll have across our journey through Tomb of Terrors.
Yeah, it does at some point it's like, again, it's just like, please stop.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode. We're gonna go on to I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Lifeblood. I keep screwing up the name of it because there's a bunch of films with the name Blood in this. Lifeblood. But before we go, Nate, do you have anything to plug?
Plug?
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Papa Nate. I stream sometimes. I haven't in a super long time, but maybe by the time this is uploaded, maybe I will stream. I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Nate. It's always a treat.
No problem. No problem.
Oh, one other thing to note, if you're interested in viewing this film, you could buy it on the Tomb of Terror box set on Amazon or eBay for around $20, hopefully. I'll just put it in the link below. And that's it for this episode. Join us in a couple days where we talk about Lifeblood with Sam.